Hello again and welcome. This is Modern American Gangster, and this is a news and current events update. I am filming this for 7/14/2025, which is a Monday. Now, since we've last talked on the Modern American Gangster 4th of July special, all of this Epstein stuff has now been written off and stopped looking at. Now, we kind of called this when we did the Epstein Files Phase 1, and now we're getting to Phase 2 of the Epstein Files, which is you have to deny it and pretend it does not exist, or it is going to affect our number one ally, which is Israel. So people need to understand that the government is not going to arrest the government for doing the stuff that the government was set up to do. Okay, ever since this 1871 corporation or whatever, this is what the government does. It lies, it blackmails, it murders, it does all of the stuff that is against the ideas of what America is. And there's not really anything we can do until the people demand that this system ends. And we are getting closer to that. So the arguments against arresting all of these Epstein people is the markets are going to crash, all the governments in the world and NATO and our good friends Israel, they're all going to collapse if this Epstein stuff comes out. And the people who are making $250,000 a year working for the government will tell you, absolutely not. We can't do this Epstein arrests because the government would collapse and all these fucking people who that's where they get their money is from this corrupt government, getting payoffs, making all this money. With normal people, if the government's gone, we don't have to pay taxes anymore, and we don't have to fight in these Jewish foreign wars, and we don't have to deal with any of their crap. I mean, no one's going to be enforcing the hate speech laws and Second Amendment laws and all these laws if the government's gone. So the government has become so tyrannical and evil and against the people, against the freedom of people. And this is why they need the government in places to control the people so that they can stay in power and launder your money. Now, these are the same people who have stolen over a third of your life. A third of your life. If you live to be 90, 30 years of your life go to servicing this government that is controlling you through your tax dollars, through your whatever it is, your energy. They're stealing your life energy away. And this is the same government that we can't shut down because it's the people that just have too much power and control of their own lives. If we got rid of the Jewish Federal Reserve System and their fake money and their fake science and release these cures for all these diseases that they cause to make you sick in order to control you. Okay, they're hiding the technology in order to control you. If everyone had free power and you could move anywhere you want and have unlimited power and internet and all this stuff, people would do that and you then could not control them. This is why they have to, they're holding on to the final bits of control in the final hours of their reign. But it's over. People are waking up. People understand now that they couldn't do this Pizzagate arrest back in 2016. Today, more likely they could, because everybody's understanding how it connects to Israel. And people ask the questions, why are we protecting Israel so much? If they're God's chosen people, isn't God protecting them more than everyone else? Why do we have to protect these horrible people who are bombing and killing civilians and want to start a war with everyone to get their Zionist New World Order agenda? And it's like you have to go into the concentration camp and be murdered and killed because you don't want to be anti-Semitic, and there are too many of you white people, so we have to exterminate you. So if the government just tells all these NPC people to just report to the concentration camp for orderly disposal, they're just going to go for Israel because they don't want to be mean. This is why this awakening is happening. But when general public people, when they get fed up with it, that's when this massive, globally, realm-wide change takes effect. Because in order to arrest these Epstein people, every form of our reality has to change. Okay, the same Epstein type people, the secret society people, the Illuminati people, the Freemason people, the Zionist Jewish people, they're all the keepers of these secrets. They don't want you to know what's in the Grand Canyon, and they don't want you to know what happened this moon landing. They don't want you to know about these underground cities, this post reset world we live in, where all this information and all these clues have been left behind for people to pick up and re-establish our timeline, re-establish what happened when this great reset took place in the 1800s or 1700s time period. Whenever this massive blood flood event took place, and when all these cities were abandoned, that's when these parasite people crawled out of their underground nest or whatever and began to subvert our reality and create a new version of our reality, which when you do not question it, it's fine. But when you start having questions, you realize it's all fabricated. It's not real at all. Nothing these people do or nothing these people tell you is factual. It's not real. It's a complete fabrication and they just made it up. So the more this goes on and the people realize that there's nothing biblical about Israel, this Rothschild Zionist state created in 1949, that has nothing to do with the Bible or anything about chosen people from God. Okay? We're all the same chosen people from God if you accept Jesus Christ. That's the whole point of all this. Figure out these Jews spit on Christians. These Jews hate Jesus Christ. They hate Mary. They hate anything that has to do with God helping these people and people accepting God, Jesus Christ, into their hearts. That's what they don't like because they're a satanic people. And the world will fall apart if Israel falls. And if Israel is destroyed, the world will be destroyed. It's like, how fucking entitled are these people? And why do these people serve these evil Jewish people from Israel? And they all are getting paid because you can see it's almost like they say don't talk about Epstein anymore. It's over with. There's no arrests. He killed himself. Case closed. How many people obey those orders and then don't talk about it? It's not a priority. We need to worry about economic trade and the tariffs with Guatemala Rwanda tariffs and Mexico's gonna get tariffs. Nobody fucking cares about the tariffs to you. We don't give a fuck how much money your Zionist occupied government is making. Okay? We want our freedom back. We want our freedom for the first time because most likely any version of we fought for our freedom and independence against the British. This is all bullshit. This is all a narrative they used to justify where we are and the types of government we have, which is all created by them. Okay, people who follow the Bible and the Golden Rule don't need laws telling them X, Y, and Z. We know. I don't want someone to come over and rape me. I'm not going to go rape them. Okay, I don't want someone to kill my family, so I'm not going to kill your family. And then you get into the sins of if someone's murdering somebody, it's your duty to stop them and kill them. Okay, this is kind of how it goes. If someone's raping and molesting children and doing satanic ritual sex magic in their basement, we have to go and kill them. They're evil demon people, and this is against God's will what these people are involved in. So Yash Patel and Dan Bongino, and they're pointing the finger at Dan Bondi. Dan Bondi's pointing the finger at Yash Patel, and Dan Bongino is gonna resign. And this is all bullshit because it doesn't matter if you resign or not. Both Cash Patel and Dan Bongino have said their number one priority is Israel, protecting Israel at all costs. Number one thing you're going to do as the director, protect Israel, 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 Israel. Nobody is asking, why not England? Why not Great Britain? Why not France? Why not Spain? Why not one of our other allies here? Well, they're not our number one ally. And therefore, we have to protect our number one ally, and our number one ally will pull the strings for all the other allies that we have. So this is like we called this a long time ago. Now, eventually, someone is going to release this Epstein client list. And it's the client list is not as important as what type of hit you're into. So if you're into big breasted redhead women, that would be on the list of if you're ordering a prostitute, that's what they send you. If you're into black chicks or Asian women or whatever it is, when you call the escort service, they know what your preferences are and they know what to send you. So when you get to this Epstein stuff and you see the list of these Johns that are ordering prostitutes, then you'll start to get into what ages and 12, 15-year-old boys Senator Lindsey Graham is into, and whatever it is, it'll tell you what they're into. And it'll all be the coded Pizzagate language, okay? Just like Joe Biden likes pasta and red sauce and ice cream and, all this pizza, cheese pizza for Joe Biden and red sauce. All these code words are in the client list. So when you start to see and understand how dark and evil these people are, this isn't like you're having a 24-year-old prostitute come to your house. No, these are young children that they're procuring over the border and open borders and 800,000 children that go missing each year in the U.S. alone. Close to 8 million kids worldwide going missing because these people have dark, evil, satanic tastes and ritual murder, cannibalism. I mean, this goes all the way to 11. So this is the next big step is people want all this Epstein stuff to come out and they want these arrests to happen. Well, be careful what you wish for because, like they said, if you want to arrest all of these Epstein Pizzagate people, These are the 1% of the 1% of the people. And they're the people who run the banks, they run the intelligence apparatuses, they run Hollywood, they run the music industry, they run and own all the sports teams. And when you arrest these people, every facet of reality at the top is who they're going to be arresting. And then it's like a new frontier when the censorship is gone because the people censoring Pizzagate are the Pizzagate people. We've seen this time and time again. That every single person who debunked Pizzagate, all of them got caught for infant porn and child sex and all this disgusting shit. The banking system, the Federal Reserve banking system. Who do you think are all the Federal Reserve banking system people? They are the Epstein Pizzagate, you know, people. These are who runs your civilization, and they're all Jews, and it's all connected to more and more crazy stuff. Higher you go, and the amount of understanding that you need to understand under the standing of what is going on. Now, if you're under their standing, they are controlling the information. We've said this before. You have to get to the foundation in order to be at the base level of information. The under, and they play this a couple ways because they'll tell you the new ground level is this mud flood level. And then you go into the basement and you figure out, well, there's multiple other layers to everything. So as this Pizzagate, well, Pizzagate's gone over, this Epstein stuff is going to lead directly to aliens and UFOs because that's where this goes. Now, if you're aware of this Guyana Treaty, if you're aware of Project Serpo, if you're aware of how our government makes all these deals with these aliens in order for exchanging technology for human beings, this is all going to make a little bit more sense because everything connects when you understand the stories they're telling you and what really is going on in World War II, where we win the war, but then every facet of our government is turned over to these Operation Paperclip Nazi people. And it's not for space rockets, it's for subversion and control of the population, the building sex trafficking networks, building these underground bunkers, and harvesting people as a resource. The resource of blood and transition metals within the blood, and the chemical compounds created from torturing people, doing different types of things to them, and they harvest this blood and eat it and drink it. They torture children, they eat them. This isn't just Jewish rabbis doing this and eating and using blood. They use the blood and they do all of these things, but there's not enough rabbis to justify 8 million kids every year. So you're going to get into the next step of the David Icke was right, it's lizard people. Okay, there are no aliens from outer space, and the more people understand these concepts, the further you will be to understanding what is going on, why this has to be done so gradually, and you can't just make all these arrests, execute all these people, free everybody from their debt, give everybody $10 million, and they never have to learn the hard truths of what really happened. Okay. Everybody needs to understand the level of evil we are dealing with and how this is a biblical war that we are in against the demonic, satanic, evil synagogue of Satan people doing the absolute most evil things ever. Because if you can harm Christians in the long run, that's worth it. And they all believe the same kind of stuff with their books and their version of reality. And the more people figure this out, the more you're not going to be able to control them. But one of the big things is just because they tell you these Jews are so holy and stuff, well, actions speak louder than words. And you can't tell people that you're chosen by God and you're so special, and then your actions and behavior is the most evil, entitled behavior that we've ever seen. The most satanic, evil shit ever. And that is what they brag openly about. And they're proud of it. And they're proud that they're these colonizers. And, you know, you think back to the colonies in New York and the 13 colonies and all this stuff. How much of that story is accurate and how much of that story is a fabrication? Because we're starting to understand that all these buildings and all this stuff were there before. Now, the words they use, colonies, colonizers, ants and insects and shit have colonies. It's an infestation of insect-like parasites on humanity. And when the colony gets big, then it multiplies out. And it's just, these people are a parasitic, evil, insect-like reptilian creature. These frill aliens that are in everybody's eyes and all this stuff. So, very, it's a very delicate thing to move into because of the vast amount of information that needs to be accumulated and acquired over many, many years of research to understand what is going on. And everything they've taught you is a fabrication. It's all lies. So when you have to relearn everything that they taught you, because the enemy of humanity has taught you the version of reality they want you to know, you have to go back and relearn everything from Christopher Columbus to the dinosaurs to how chemistry works, how science works, how the Bible and biblical events play right into the world we live, and how these demonic people and demonic spirits possess people and get them to do horrific things. This is what needs to be fully understood. You can't just flip a switch and have this stuff be done. It takes a certain amount of maturity and understanding to be able to process these types of things. That this has been going on for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. These dark, evil cults sacrificing children, sacrificing their child or their children to Moloch, and firing and burning them to death, and all this stuff. This is what these people are involved in. This is what God, if we do not make these arrests, if you do not have justice, and if the people don't care about justice, if they're going to take their comfort over what's right, this is when you get biblical type events taking place throughout our entire realm. Because if the people don't care enough to stand up and say, I don't care if you're claiming to be Jewish, we can't let you rape and murder children and drink their blood. Okay? It doesn't say in the Bible that because you come from Israel and this 1949 Israel, you could drink blood and do whatever you want. And every single person, they just bow their heads and bend a knee to this Benjamin Netanyahu. And protecting our politicians who have been compromised 500 different ways by all these different companies. And it's just, it is a rotten, rotten foundation that has to be destroyed. And is this going to happen? I think this is going to happen. But once again, it's not just arresting pedophiles, because there's a whole other thing that goes along with this, with the disclosure of the truth. What really happened in World War II? What really happened with all of these wars? What happened with this mud flood? What happened with all of this stuff that is slowly being pushed to the front. You have to look for it. They're not going to talk about the mud flood and the old world and lizard people on CNN. Okay. CNN and TV programming is programming you to follow the narratives they want you to follow. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and Jake Paul and whatever bullshit. It's just the same thing to distract you. Nothing they ever tell you on the TV pays off. It's all just bullshit, kick the can down the road. And when something major happens, they come up with a distraction very easily to get the focus of the people off. And the more that the old narrative devices, the TV, the radio, are phased out, you're going to see more opportunities for more um, unique information to be released. So, Trump and Elon Musk are fighting, and he's going to start a new political party. Well, the future is no political parties. You have to just worry about individual issues. And the Democrats and the Republicans, dude, it's a system that was created in 17 whatever. There's no parties. It's all fake and gay. And we need to completely revolutionize every form and facet of our life, from the monetary system to our governing systems. I mean, these people are supposed to fix the roads, not traffic children from, you know, Nicaragua or wherever the fuck, Haiti. But it's just the general public, people will tell you you're insane for thinking this. You can prove this 500 ways. Look at all these children going missing. Look at all these children missing on the border. 300,000 children missing on the border. Well, where are they all? Well, I'm not getting into conspiracy theories. And then they'll switch to something else very quickly. And it's like, it's a boomer thing, but it's a general NPC people thing. The boomers need to realize that they don't know what the fuck is going on at all, and they need to step back and stop being so in everybody's face running things. And this is who the government is completely made up of, are these liberal Democrat boomer people and diversity hire people. And they'll do anything to keep their job because they all kind of know they don't really have any skills. They don't really know how anything works. They got a cushy job, State Department. They make $215,000 a year. They have 47 vacation days and paid holidays and sick time, and they know it's a cushy job. They'll lie to you and tell you that it's very demanding working at the State Department. When whatever you're doing, the oversight people will just make sure their agendas are pushed forward. Every single person serves Israel at the highest level. And the more on board you are with the we're serving Israel, the more and higher up you will be and the more money you will get because more money gets laundered to at the top. It's the government is made up of a lot of chiefs and no Indians. Okay, there's not a lot of working people doing their job fixing potholes. It's a lot of managers and stuff watching one guy work on the side of the road. And it's a metaphor that's over this time. One guy working, three guys monitoring, an inspector, a safety inspector, and there's 10 people watching one guy in a hole work. That's the government. And the guy in the hole working makes the lowest amount of money, and all the people on the top watching all make $185,000 a year. So Trump says no big deal. We're still talking about Epstein. It's over. They released some stupid footage that was edited, and it's a big cover up. Because personally, I'm of the opinion that there is no Jeffrey Epstein. They invented a Jeffrey Epstein as a way of disclosing this type of stuff to the people. And the best way to blame someone is just create a person and blame it all on them. And this is why I think a lot of these people are invented personalities, whether it's clones, whether it's artificial intelligence or CGI or robots or lizard people wearing masks. It's a lot easier to have one Dr. Fauci that you can put all the blame on and execute this one guy, and then justice is done. Or one Bill Gates person, or one whoever. And this is how they operate. They can make unlimited fake people, all the blame onto this one guy, and then it turns out the one guy is gone. The Epstein is gone. Victims can now be at peace. When it's a network, okay? It's a network of multiple people. And we want the network as simple, not the main guy who you're telling us is in charge. Just because his name's on the paper doesn't mean he's really a part of this bigger plan. Now, some say this Epstein is still alive. Some say it was a fabricated person, and we've already seen how actors wearing masks, anyone you want can put on a Jeffrey Epstein mask, and they're Jeffrey Epstein. It's all a fake thing when you understand how much more advanced these people are than the general public. And the more they talk about Epstein and sex trafficking and stuff, that'll go for a few days, and then they will come out with some new UFO information. And it's just like they tease this carrot here, and then they tease this over here, and they tease this over here, and they tease this over here, and it's just nothing ever comes out, and it's all just distractions and bullshit. But it's part of this larger understanding that the aliens, the Greys, the insectoids, the lizard people, the reptilians, it's all demonic type entities or higher vibrational entities and multi-dimensional things and stuff. But it's definitely not what they're telling you. And their big scam is trying to subvert you and trick you into believing what they want you to believe, and therefore you give your power away. There's nothing you could do if aliens from Alpha Centauri galaxy came to Earth and started blowing up stuff. Well, these aliens seem to be pretty afraid of Jesus Christ in the name of Jesus Christ. Couldn't we all invoke the power of Jesus Christ and get them out of there? Well, man, we'll change the subject very quickly because that's a big part of this. These aliens come from another galaxy that they're scared of Jesus. Maybe they're not aliens coming from another galaxy. Maybe they're demonic entities coming from another dimension or something. And that checks out more than anything else because you figure out this government has been doing this and investigating satanic cults and rituals, and Ted Gunderson investigating these sex cults and Satanism, and it all is satanic. They all are satanic. They're doing blood rituals. They're putting pentagrams on the floor and conjuring these demons. And in Freemasonry, they can conjure this Yoda looking creature in their demonic rituals. And this Yoda character, it's in all these old manuscripts. It looks like a Yoda character. Green Yoda guy. And this entity, they show you how to summon this demon, and it will tell you the other rituals and things that you have to do in order to get higher and higher power within the dark forces or whatever. The good guys are the bad guys, and the bad guys are the good guys. And that's how everything is inverted to make you cheer for these satanic evil people. And it's most likely that both sides are controlled at some point. Everything starts off good, and slowly it gets taken over and infiltrated and turned into something bad. And now we have this world that we are in. So you can see they are having a problem with this Epstein stuff. And you've used all your other distractions to a point where ICE riots against ICE, that you did that and then it went away, and now they're trying to slowly bring it back. the UFOs and UAPs. They tease it, they tease it, they tease it. No pictures come out, no evidence comes out, nothing. No technology comes out, and then they'll jump to something else. Weather disaster in Texas. And then, okay, people are so desensitized and used to the same programming over and over. They only have four different things they can program people to follow. And the sports isn't working like it used to. The weather disasters don't work like they used to. You have five weather events a year. How can we care about this one? You just had three other ones, or a fire. There's other fires, and there's other weather events, and then a celebrity death. Oh man, look at this celebrity death. These distractions last about 4 to 6 hours, and people go, "Yeah, there's a flood in Texas. Okay, move on." How are there so many floods all of a sudden, flash floods during the summertime when it's not raining? Wow. And in order to answer these questions, you have to be able to go to the woo-woo kind of stuff to, are they blowing up underground bunkers? Now, how it works is there's so many facets to these underground bunkers. They blow up one, flood it with ocean water or something, and then the water pressurizes in this underground cavern. Then they blow tunnels connecting them in the water pressured at high speeds and fills up this next bunker, which then overfloods and causes all this flooding. So this is a big part of this operation is flooding and but who the fuck knows? At this point, it could be there could be lots of things going on. But the main thing with the Epstein stuff is it will connect to lizard people and gray aliens and stuff. So why aren't they going to release this footage of all of this blackmail? Now they say they don't have any of the blackmail. Well, on the blackmail tape within their torture bunkers, these lizard people and gray alien demon people are just walking around like it's no big deal. They're not hiding their shape-shifting and lizard people look. So when you have all this footage at Diddy's house, and a lot of these celebrities are shape-shifting into demons while they're raping and drinking blood, that's the number one thing they're suppressing. Okay? It's not child sex. That's a part of it, yes. But on a whole, the secrets are much larger than just they're protecting pedophiles and Israel and Jews. Okay? The controllers, the masters, the lizard, demon, Satan people are the ones they are protecting. And it goes back to this Riata Treaty, this Project Serpo, this exchange program with these demons and all this stuff. That is what the big secret is. And the aliens are, it's like the real extraterrestrials, those that come from extraterrestrial land. Extraterrestrial, okay? Extraterran land on the other side of this flat earth or whatever, underwater colonies or underground base colonies or whatever. They're not going to come and tell you they come from outer space. Okay, or it's a way of looking at it. It's the outer space on the other side of our space. You know, these demons and stuff are multi-dimensional. They come from different folds, different realities, different versions of reality. But when they manifest in our realm, they look like these really disgusting Triceratops raptor creatures. And there's different versions of them. There's like alligator people with wide heads. There's velociraptor type looking people. And then there's just like if you took like an ape and mixed it with lizard DNA. There's all these different versions of it because they are experimenting with genetics and stuff. And this is the pill that the people will not swallow. And we've seen them. You can hook them with this information. And the second you say flat Earth, boop, they turn off. They're not going to hear it. Nope, not going to happen. You say lizard people, they turn off. They're not going to hear it. They don't want to hear it, even if it's the truth and factual, and we can prove it. And there's all these stories of these lizard people come in, they take over, the same as Jews. They come in, they take over, they poison your water, they cause all the sicknesses, they rewrite your history, they take out giant sections, and take out the understanding that through Jesus Christ, these people were defeated. And then Jesus Christ goes away. Where did Jesus go after the 1,000-year millennial reign? Did he die? There's so many factors. Also understanding that the people from biblical times lived 900 years and stuff, and we live this little amount. So if you figure out that humans could live a lot longer if you got rid of this aging virus that they've infected people with. And all this stuff kind of hooks together, and we are just like on the precipice of breaking through onto the other side and understanding how much there's a brand new world out there to be discovered, and we just have to fucking play this out. It doesn't matter if Trump says stop looking at Epstein. This is like a test to see who is going to rise up and say what needs to be said. Tucker Carlson comes out and names the Jew. Joe Rogan is starting to come out and name the Jew. They're using their alternate people to come out and name the Jew. Now, does that mean Tucker Carlson is going to talk about flat Earth and lizard people? Not yet. Not quite. They all know it, though. Anyone who has flown anywhere, if you're somewhat intelligent, you can ask some questions and figure out what's going on very quickly. And why do these Jews have so much power and influence? If not, they're using black magic and ritual magic, occult magic to pervert reality and trick people and cast a spell on them, broadly cast a spell on the people through broadcasting, through their television programming of the people, channeling spirits on TV channel. Each channel you're watching is a different entity that comes into your house and tricks you, whispers in your ear, tells you all this stuff. Indulge yourself. Have some more alcohol. Do the drugs. Eat those sweet cakes. And get 650 pounds. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. This is the influence of these demons. And where if you live with Jesus giving you the strength, you're not going to do it. You have to be better. And that is the point behind all of this. So, to wrap up, this Epstein stuff is not going to go away. It it will go away if the people believe their bullshit. But if the people stop believing their bullshit, this begins to go from phase one to phase two very quickly. Now, phase two is they're going to release the client list. They're going to release all this stuff. It will be coded pizza, pie, pasta, red sauce, it'll be coded, where they still are going to use their plausible deniability. Then they'll say, you know, the other excuses. Epstein dealt with thousands of people over his reign as this sex guy, and only a small amount are a part of this sex and blackmail stuff. But there's a lot of good people that could be harmed if this information comes out. Let the information out and the chips will fall where they may. Maybe we believe your story, maybe we don't, but you've had it a little too good for a little too long. And if you're the kind of person who deals with sex trafficking blackmailers, maybe your judgment isn't so good. and they're going to approve new COVID shots. And I mean, it's just like the same old shit. When are we going to get out of it? We have to be, the reason why it doesn't go anywhere is because people know where this goes. And it goes to hard truths people don't want to acknowledge. The flat earth, the lizard people, the history, how all of this kind of connects. All right. To wrap up, they're gonna keep going with this. It's gonna be slow, but unless people can understand that everything in reality has to change, don't hold your breath, anything's coming. But when it gets to the breaking point, that's when the arrests come. That's when the economy crashes. That's when the solar blackout occurs and the solar flare. It's all going to be the same week. But history has to report that something so massive occurred, like 9/11. The world stopped on 9/11. This is going to be the world stops, and it's going to be so dark. Do we even want the world to come back? That type of dark. You let these lizard demons run your government and your world, and they're eating children and drinking blood and stuff. And there's clown entities and giants like this Kandahar giant. It's all connected. Now, I got a new documentary I'm working on. I keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. But when you put all this information together and look at it as one giant cohesive story laid out with slides and info, it is pretty overwhelming. And you can come to the conclusion that they're not telling you anything truthful. They're telling you what you want to hear in order to control you. And this is why the next phase moving forward, you have to start unhooking from Israel government, understanding that the government's not really there to help you, they're controlling you. And they control your politicians, and they control your CPS, and everything is a part of everything else, from the vaccines to the food to the technology, the oil and gas, and all of this stuff is connected, and they already have the new system ready to go. The quantum financial system, the unleash of the free energy technology, the opening up of the underground bunkers and transit systems under there, the paying off everybody's debt, opening up the world to the good versions of AI, because the evil AI, which is this black goo Satan stuff, is what's controlling everything now. But if you created a new AI based off of biblical principles and Jesus Christ, this could help free humanity and take us to this next level. Okay? I hope this kind of helps people understand what's going on. Know that this Epstein stuff is, we're just moving from phase one to phase two. And the start of phase two is don't talk about it. We've moved on, case closed. Now, someone or something or some government is going to make a big release, whether that's Julian Assange or Russia or whoever. Iran is going to release all this information. It's going to come out, and that's going to trigger the beginning of the stock market collapsing, the economy collapsing, all of everything collapsing, and then they warned you, if we release this and arrest these people, the government and all the stuff's going to collapse. Well, if it's already collapsing and gone, why aren't you going to arrest these people? And they'll be forced to take action, which a lot of people think all of these arrests have taken place years ago. But they'll play it up like it's happening right now, and they're doing all these arrests, and, you know, this will go into, if the government's gone, who are you going to pay your taxes to? Who are you going to pay your car registration to and all this stuff if the government's not there? And you'll see things reorganized so quickly. Within 10 days, things will be so revolutionized. It will really make way for this new new age, golden age that's upon us. And it's either golden age, true freedom, free technology, free everything, or a mass extermination reset event where all the people are killed off and they repopulate with their preferred clone people, which we've seen happen in the past, but we'll see it again if things don't change. And I'm optimistic. I think things will turn around eventually. It's just people aren't understanding the void within the general public people and how they just don't care. They don't have the IQ to process all this information. So it has to be done slowly. You know, they've been talking about UFOs and aliens for fucking 75 fucking years. They've never shown you anything officially. They've never went and shown you this is a crash disk that crashed in Roswell. They've never shown you a fucking thing. Now they have bodies, they have all this stuff, but the reason they do not show you is because you'd figure out very quickly they're all lizard demon creatures. And it's a biblical thing, and we're serving these entities because our technology isn't that great. But it's all a deception within a deception. There's no technology or anything that is more powerful than God and Jesus Christ. And these biblical events like the mud flood and the buildings and all this stuff kind of prove that, which then you figure out why aren't you doing this? Well, because these satanic Jew people all run everything. And if you got real Christian people in there, not these Judeo-Christian people, things would change very quickly. Okay? I hope people are having a good summer so far. We had a great time at our 4th of July thing. We got more recipes coming. I got a new documentary coming. We got lots of stuff that we're working on, and there's more to come. So I hope everybody will check in. Follow my Patreon if you want exclusive content and never before seen stuff only through the paywall. It does help, and it would be great if you could support my channel and my research. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.
But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family. Do you understand?